What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? It's been a while since I did a 21 primer, but I think it's about time. That guy in a hoodie holding it down for you guys once again with the 21 tech. So today's primer, we're going to be going over what to do against your Labcoat counterpart, because as you guys know, Labcoat is in the game. A lot of people are picking her. A lot of people believe that you must pick her to win, and so you're going to run into this character a lot, especially if you're a tournament player. And so I'm here to give you the information, some relevant information I think might help you out in your games. Of course, none of this will be auto win because she does have a lot of tools, but we have a lot of tools too as Majin 21 players, and so I figured I would go over them. So we're going to go from simple to complicated. It shouldn't take too long. Let's just get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your 2-3 success. So this goes through Ki Blast, as you guys know, and if you stand still, it actually goes full screen. So like, as you can see, if I'm here, right, it hits me from full screen. So what should you do instead? If you're pestering with Ki Blast, so it's worth noting that if you 2S her, right? Let's say you're going for like 5S 2S, still block in time. Now you will air blocking, you will be -3. But as you can see, she doesn't have the range to like follow up explicitly most of the time. I wouldn't recommend mashing in this situation, but there might be situations where she tries to take advantage of her plus frames and like her 5L will whiff because it's like too far away or whatnot. So definitely keep a lookout for that. But mainly we're going to talk about what happens when you program your opponent. What do I mean by program your opponent? Well, players in Dragon Ball FighterZ sometimes respond to what happened last. And so like, let's say you throw out a 5S in neutral. The next time you throw that 5S, they'll look for it, right? They'll look for the 5S next time. And be like, okay, I'm gonna 2-3 success this time, right? Okay, so what do you do instead? So if you're full screen and you're trying to zone her out, instead of just throwing the Ki Blast and standing there, first of all, you can 2H this, by the way, for those of you who don't know. At any point, if she does this lariat, it's always airborne. You can 2H it, even if she starts it on the ground. Very important. But most importantly, what you can do is if you're trying to zone her out and she doesn't have assist available or anything to deal with this, you can 5S, and then if she blocks it and tries to 2-3-6 H, you can just step back. So you can walk back while throwing Ki Blast. It will actually whiff on you if you're starting from like almost full screen. You see, I walk back a little bit. It just straight up whiffs. -52 on whiff, meaning that she eats a nice fat 5M for this, a full combo, and it should happen every single time. And so, really important to establish that mind game between like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna keep throwing Ki Blast? Am I gonna try to space you out? But make sure you keep this in mind because this is big damage, of course, coming out from Majin 21. And like, this is a really pretty basic combo, right? So a lot of damage that she gets from that. So definitely make sure you incorporate into that, as well as keeping in mind that even if she does get a 2-3 success through, a lot of the time 2S has so little recovery that you can block. If you do it that close, you obviously can't. But if you're like a little bit past mid-screen, either it will whiff or you'll actually be able to recover and block in time, right? So keep that in mind. And now we're gonna move on to the next thing, which is a little bit more complicated. So a lot of people claim, and I'm not saying that they're wrong here. I'm just simply stating what the people state, that this move, the air 214H, right? The Spinneroonie that nukes your health bar and is a frame 1 anti-air, is the best move in the game. It is definitely one of the best moves in the game. However, we have counterplay. Wow, crazy, right? Isn't it crazy? Majin 21 has counterplay to this? Go figure. Okay, so what do you do if you want to steal a turn from a Labcoat 21 player that you think is going to press 214H after every super dash? Because a lot of people will do this with 214H, just like a lot of Vegetos always press command grab, just like a lot of Broly's press command grab post super dash, right? A lot of people just autopilot these options, but we can punish them if we're willing to take a little bit of risk. So what do you do instead, right? Okay, you see you're in the air, super dash. You see what happened there. So it turns out that 214S is frame 4 invulnerable, and since it goes invul later, you actually invul through the spin and you grab her. Due to it not being a strike property move, we can just invul completely through this, beat it clean, and get a full punish out of this. Now, like I said before, this is a turn steal, okay? If you have the proper assist to cover this, feel free to go for it. Even if you think it's like a hard read, you can go for this. And kind of like, you know, de-incentivize them to pressing it. It's definitely good for like trying to squeeze out a kill against people that you think are autopiloting, but in no way is this like man, if you do this every single time, you're just gonna beat every Labcoat, right? Obviously, that's not what's going on here, but I figured I should let you know about that. And on top of that, it turns out that every single steal in this slot except Sonic Warp will actually beat her 214H. So Sonic Warp goes invulnerable too late. As you can see, gets hit on the startup here. Whoops. Right? It takes too long to start up. So don't do this with Warp. But every other one, you can steal a turn here. The Solar Flare is the projectile. You actually just hit it. It does not, it goes through this move because it is a projectile property move. It's not a strike move. And also, you know, it's air invulnerable itself, frame 4. And so you can just get through it that way. Of course, we love this is my favorite move in the game. You can just grab it right out of this, shut your ass up. Full combo, of course, as I said. And of course, Barrier Sphere, frame 4 invulnerable. She presses it. Go ahead and get a ton of meter for this, by the way. Look at the meter build. Look at that. 2.5 bars. Now, if you let the barrier rock long enough to get the 2.5 bars, you have to be careful because your dive will not hit afterwards. So if you want a full punish, you do need to press it part way through, because if you, like I said, if you let it rock the whole way, you get the meter, but you lose the punish. So we want to punish her for doing this. So press it part way through, full combo. As you guys know before, you can take the steal back against Labcoat as well. Set up your Oki, do whatever you need to do. But really, really important bit of matchup knowledge between these two, that we have checks to her 214H, regardless of whether or not we have steals. The only time we can't do this is when we have Warp in the slot, which is a small percentage of the time, because pink characters are less common, and it also makes up only 1/4 of the possibility of the steals that you can get in the first place. And so 75% of the time, you can do this. I know, right? Crazy. All right, cool. Moving on. We're going to talk about the command grab, right? Let's talk about the command grab. Okay, so stop jumping, please. Man, I hate it. I hate it when CPUs just keep jumping. I just have to sit there and hear the sound. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so next thing, you see a lot of this, right? See a lot of this because it's frame 4 invulnerable. It's a 21 frame grab, and of course, on top of all of that, if you thought it wasn't strong enough already, it actually auto ticks out of all of her buttons. So it's not like some other command grabs where you have to worry about there being too much block stun. No matter where in the block string she goes for this, she can always tick it, and she'll never have to worry about it being too much block stun to connect the move. Whether it's H's, whether it's M's, it doesn't matter. Every button works for it as long as it's spaced properly. Of course, if you're like on the tip of the range or something like that, it can whiff. I even still reach there, but there are some situations where, you know, your opponent will be able to backdash and whatnot. So what do we do about this? What do we do? Well, I actually did a primer about this particular thing a while back. You can go check that out if you want to. But Android 21, the Majin version, has this move, which goes airborne extremely early. Now, this move doesn't seem like it would be all that useful, but it's actually pretty all right in this situation on a fuzzy guard situation. And why is that? It's because since it goes airborne so early, you can use this to OS in certain situations. So I set up a few different dummies here, and keep in mind, even myself, I have not practiced doing this against her that much, so I might miss it every now and then. But as you can see, I'll have her start a block string on me. Oh my god, I can't press the right button. It'd be like that. Right? So what am I doing here? I'm actually pressing it extremely late. Right? See how late I'm pressing this? So I'm fuzzying 214L, and if you do it properly, you'll actually be airborne right over the grab, and you will get a full punish here. Now, this takes practice, and it also can be staggered specifically to beat. So if your opponent is just going for like 5LL, right? If they're going for 5LL and not in a jail, they're doing a frame trap, you will get hit and you will get full comboed, right? And so this is my disclaimer. Do not do this every single block string. You will die. I promise you will die. Just use this, just keep this option in mind. So it doesn't actually matter what button she does it out of. But I will say the higher blocks on the button, the less of a window you have to do it. So she does it at M's, you have to do it. You have to be a little bit more aware, right? And if you do it out of H's, right, you have to keep that in mind as well. So there's different blocks and timings for each of these. And what I mean by OS is, for those of you who don't know, it is an option select. So it's a set of inputs that yield different results depending on what your opponent chooses. And so what happens here is if they do a true block string like 5LL, nothing comes out if you press this while you're late in block stun. But if they do stop their block stun and go for command grab or even DR, right, you'll actually go right over top and you'll get the punish. And that's why this is very valuable. And that is why I wanted to show this to you guys. I think this fourth one is DR. Yeah, so DR is definitely harder. I actually don't even know if you can fully get over DR. I think you have to press it super early. Yeah, so DR you have to press earlier. But as you can see, it goes airborne so early that you actually can get over it and be airborne in time to avoid the grab. And keep in mind that this move is not a bust out. It's not an invulnerable move. So you can call your assist with it as well. So if they're trying to go for something and you want to set up the contingency plan and be like, just in case it doesn't work, you can mash your assist during this, especially like if you're playing like Vegito or something like that and you just want to just kind of do it, you can do that. But you have to be very, very careful, because if you try to do them at the same time, you try to do them at the smash animation, you can see Bardock gets locked out. Kind of messed up there. Right? See how he gets locked out there? So you can mash. You can mash in case it whiffs. If it whiffs and it doesn't hit your opponent, the assist will come out and cover you in a lot of cases. If you hit your opponent, the assist won't come out. You can keep mashing it afterwards to get your combo, like so. Right? You can just do that if that is what you want to do. Right? Continue the combo that way. But just something you can do on defense. 21 has a lot of issues on defense. And characters have also become harder and harder to defend as time goes on. So I figured I would make a note of that. This can also be done, by the way, this can also be done with some steals. So I believe it works with Solar Flare because Solar Flare is a projectile. Yeah, it's a projectile, and she also goes airborne. And you have time to hit confirm this too. So that's the best part about this. You can be like, okay, I actually hit her. Now I'm gonna press my H. Full combo, right? This will not work with barrier because barrier is, even though it looks like it's airborne, it's not. You just get grabbed. As you can see, my startup is just getting grabbed. Doesn't work. It also does not work with sticky energy blast, as it is grounded as well. Just get grabbed. So only Solar Flare. Only Solar Flare in this case. Sonic Warp, once again, too slow to actually use it in this case, right? So only Solar Flare and dives. Those are what you want to use if you're trying to, implement fuzzy offense against her. And, it just gives you a little bit more of a fighting chance. The last thing is really actually super simple. I don't know if I said that was the last thing, but I did want to make one more note of thing because I think I've seen a lot of Labcoat played recently, and people kind of like brain fart against her and they forget what options their characters actually have. So do not forget, all right, guys, do not forget that this, right? So she has a really fast beam, right? That's all fine and dandy. However, don't forget that EX Ball is super property as long as you have at least one steal. So with no steals, we will full clash. Whoops, I actually had the steal there, my bad. Right, we will full clash with no steals, but with one steal, just one measly steal, it becomes super property. And so we can shut down pretty much all forms of long-range offense from her, grounded long-range offense from her, because she has no move that goes through this. It goes through her 236H, it goes through 214H, it goes through Beam, it goes through Key Blast, it goes through everything. It's a super property move, and so you can check her with this, even in the neutral, and it also smokes assist sometimes, and so that's very good. And even if she's like, let's say she jumps and goes into the air, EX Ball actually has a property where you can half cancel the animation into Super Dash. So what I mean by that is it's not an explicit cancel like M, right? So like M, you can immediately Super Dash as soon as you let go, right? So you can't go immediately after EX, but it's faster than doing L-ball super dash. So look how slow this is, right? It's so slow that right, I have to recover fully from L-ball before my super dash comes off. That's not the case for EX. We actually get to cancel some of the recovery into super dash. And so like if you see that she went into the air and is maybe trying to key blast over top of you, you can try to super dash her. Of course, you do want to be mindful of the 214H, you know, if they have the reactions for that and whatnot. But that's just like general stuff against anyone that is air key blasting you. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I wanted to go over. The game, you know, don't listen to these people out here. A lot of people are talking about the game is dead, no one's gonna play it anymore. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter what people say. If you enjoy the game, keep playing it. If you need somewhere to play, stop by my stream. We have plenty of people willing to play and improve. Wumpa Warriors is really hard tournament every single week, and we will welcome you with open arms. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm actually going to do a video on synergy between these two characters because you're going to see a lot of double 21 shells. So I'm going to do a video on that synergy. That's what's on the horizon next. So until next time, you guys take it easy. See you next time.